Welcome, flag football parents. My name is Cody, and I will be taking over the flag football program this season. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll be going over league rules, some important dates, some important information that you might want to see before the season starts. Again, our season does start on April 13th, and we're just really excited to get this thing going. This video will be posted on YouTube, so if you want to find it anytime leading up to the season or during, that link will be available to view all throughout. So thank you for being here, and please watch until the end just so you don't miss anything. Again, my name is Cody Dane. I'm the recreation supervisor here with the city of Post Falls. I've been with the city for about 3 years now. 2.5 of those have been as a recreation coordinator, and I've recently moved to the recreation supervisor position in December. My favorite football team is the Seahawks. I love watching football during the season. I definitely think I have a good background and knowledge of the game, and so I'm excited to see what this season brings. Another fun fact about me is I'm a sports encyclopedia. As a kid, I didn't really watch cartoons. I was that kid that was always just watching football, watching SportsCenter, ESPN, and so I really feel blessed that I ended up in an industry that I truly care about. Wanted to start this video by saying thank you to all of you for participating in our NFL Flag Football League. The NFL Flag partnership has been great over this past year, and we think it's been a really positive impact on the community. They produce some really cool jerseys and some really cool visuals that are a little different than what you've seen in previous sports with us. So we're really excited about the partnership that we have with NFL Flag. We will continue to do that, and maybe you'll see it in other sports moving forward. But yeah, just thank you for being a part of our programs. We really appreciate it. The work you guys put in as parents, getting kids to and from practices and games is huge, and it really leads to a positive environment when those kids are learning how to interact with other parents and other kids on different teams, and it's just a really special thing to see the community grow in a great way. So thank you again for being here. So the first thing we're going to cover today is the coach's application and background check. For all the coaches out there, you should have already been contacted by me. If you coached this last fall with David, you do not need to produce another background check. But if you haven't coached since last year, or if this is your first time coaching at all, we will need to get a background check. We give you some paperwork, you give it back to us, and we submit it to our HR department, who then sends it to a company called Checker. So you might expect an email from a company called Checker. That is not spam. But again, this is only for coaches who did request to coach. And thank you to all those coaches who have already volunteered. We really appreciate it. If you have not been contacted by me, please reach out to me immediately. We still need to get your shirt size if that's the case, so we can order everyone the correct coach's shirt. So we already touched on some of this in slide 3, but I do want to go over it a little more in depth. The purpose and responsibilities of a parent and guardian. The purpose is to create a positive learning environment where children learn sportsmanship, fundamental skills, teamwork, and responsibility. I really think that starts with us as the adults, how they see us act during games and during practices. That will reflect on how they behave as well. So keep that in mind as we are watching the games. Please refrain from yelling at other coaches, other parents, players on the field, referees. I really think that sets a bad example for the kids in our program. One thing we will be implementing is for at least one parent of each kiddo to sign our parent code of conduct form. I will give those to the coaches at the coaches meeting, and then they will pass those around at the first or second practice, and I would like to have those back by week 1. And that's just saying that you understand what the rules are of the league. That's just saying that you will behave during games and practices and that sort of thing, and set a good example. One other thing I want to include in this is that we will be abiding by all official calls and rules. Some of our officials are adults, some of them are high school students, but they have had training in NFL flag rules, and we do need to go with what they say. The coaches out there, you can call them aside, ask them to talk about why they made that call, but there's no reason to belittle them or yell at them, especially when there's a bunch of kids and a bunch of spectators around. That does not lead to a good environment, and it definitely doesn't want to make them come back and be a referee with us again, which is a huge problem right now. We have a big shortage of referees, so we want to definitely try and keep those kids around as long as we can. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the league rules, regulations, and policies. I will send out an NFL flag rulebook via email as a PDF. If you have any questions, go to your coach first before you just come to me. Hopefully your coach will have time to review those rules and they can relay that information to you. If it's still not clarified, then you can come to me. Hopefully I have a good understanding of what's going on. If you were in the league last year, the rules are going to be very similar. They shouldn't have changed at all, actually. So if you were already in the league, they should be pretty much the same. And so hopefully there's a nice transition there. One thing that is new this year is the 7th and 8th grade league. We had 24 kids total, which was great turnout. Last fall, we only had 2 kids sign up, so we weren't able to run the league. So really excited to bring this to the fields this year. But one thing that's going to be different from the rest of the league is that it's only going to be 5-on-5. So you're going to have your quarterback, your center, and 3 receivers on offense. And then on defense, you're going to have your cornerbacks and your safeties and maybe a linebacker in there. But we're really excited to bring this new division into the league. Teams will be constructed of total teams of 6, and so there will only be 1 sub. So you 7th and 8th graders out there, it's really important that we show up to every single game because there's not much room for error when it comes to substitutions. For any of you new coaches out there, this is just kind of a sample practice schedule. By the way, practices will start April 1st. That doesn't necessarily mean your practice will be on April 1st, but they will start that week. We think the fields will be dry enough, and we're really hopeful that everything will be clear and just be ready to go by then. But again, this is a sample practice schedule. A 5 to 10 minute warm up, 10 to 20 minutes of skill developments or drills. A lot of teams will go into 15-minute scrimmage, then a 10-minute game to kind of end things on a positive note, and then a 5-minute cool down or debrief with your team. How we run things is there will be a 1-hour practice slot for each team per day. Most teams will usually get 1 to 2 practices a week, so that'll give you either 1 hour practice per week or 2 1-hour practices per week, depending on the age group. Smart Start, you guys do not have a practice during the week, so don't need to worry about that. You guys just need to come on Saturdays. But for kindergarten on up, there will be 1 to 2 practices per week, and you will get that information sent to you via email and communicated to you by your coach. Okay, here's some just miscellaneous info that I've gathered up. For our football players, a mouth guard is required to play and practice. We do not provide those, so you will need to purchase that. You can go to Big 5, Walmart, those you can buy them off Amazon, those kinds of places. They're fairly cheap. So you will need to get your own mouth guards. I would recommend getting probably 2 or 3. Sometimes they get lost or fall out during the game, and kids don't really want to put them back in their mouth. So I would have multiple ready to go. We do provide jerseys for all divisions, and then for the Smart Start, we only provide jerseys, and for everyone else, we provide jerseys and shorts. So when it comes to practices and games for Smart Start, I would just wear some sweats or shorts that are comfortable for the kiddos. Everyone else, we will have shorts provided with sponsorship logos on them and the NFL flag jerseys. Both are required to play in the game. So if you do not have your sponsored shorts and you do not have your NFL flag jerseys, you will not be allowed to play in the game. So it's imperative that you remember those each week. Try not to lose them. If one does get lost, contact me as soon as possible so we can see what we can do about getting a second garment there. Cleats are encouraged to be worn. They're not required, but heavily encouraged. The only thing is we'll not have metal cleats. Some soccer and baseball cleats have a metal bottom. We don't want to be wearing those. Just too high of a risk of injury, stepping on someone's foot or toe or something like that. We do have a cleat donation program here at City Hall, but please hurry in. The selection is limited. You never know whether or not we're going to have the exact size. So if you still need something, contact me and we'll try to get that to you. Picture day schedule. That will be coming out next week, starting March 25th. So I will be sending that out next week. We're still working on that. And coaches, make sure every player gets at least half a game of playing time. Usually they'll get more since we have not a ton of kids on the team. And another thing we'll be implementing this season is our sportsmanship rating. We started this with basketball, and if you've been with the program for a while, you've probably seen it before. But after each game, coaches and players will be rating their opponent's sportsmanship. So at the end of the year, we will give some sort of sportsmanship award, but we're just trying to incentivize kids learning the importance of sportsmanship and being respectful on the playing field. So I did just kind of go over this in the last slide, but I will hit it again. Smart Start, just a colored jersey, and then for games and practices, wear something comfortable, shorts or sweats. Every kindergarten up, you will receive an NFL flag jersey and as well as black shorts with the sponsor logo on it. Your mouth guards will need to be purchased, and please don't forget about the donation bin here at City Hall. As soon as we receive our uniforms, we will verify that they're all there, and then we will contact the coaches to come get them, and the coaches will hand them out from there. It's a lot of work to call each individual parent. There's almost 200 of you, and so that just becomes too cumbersome. So we'll call the coaches, and then they will disperse them out from there. If you won't have a practice like our Smart Start kids, coaches will disperse them at Picture Day on April 13th. And so that is another thing I'll hop right into is April 13th is Picture Day. That's also the first day of games. So it will be kind of a little hectic, but I'm going to try and schedule all the pictures in the morning, starting at 8 a.m. Try to get those done in about an hour and a half, and then we'll probably start games by 10 a.m. So if you don't have your jerseys and shorts by the first first game, those will be delivered to you by your coach or myself, depending on if the coach has picked them up yet or not. One other quick thing I wanted to touch on is concussions. Even though it's flag football, concussions can still happen. They happen pretty regularly across the nation in our flag football leagues. Kids can lose their footing and fall and hit their head, or their head could get hit by opponent's knees or elbows. So be on the lookout for those symptoms, dizziness, nosebleeds, not really remembering where they are, that sort of thing. If anything looks off, please, coaches, take them out of the game. Parents, let your coaches know if you've seen something maybe that the coach didn't see in the action of play. So again, as a parent or guardian, really try and trust the officials, the staff, the coaches on their judgment. If they think they got hit in the head and they need to come out, they're just trying to do what's best for your kiddos. And also in reverse of that, parents, if you see something that the coaches may not have seen, tell the coach that you want your kid pulled out. We would rather be safe than sorry. These links you can click on have some great instructional videos, about 5 minutes, on symptoms and what to do in the event that your kid has or may have a concussion. Okay, what is the next step? Starting next week, the week of March 25th, I will be sending out game schedules, picture day schedules, practice schedules, picture packet information, all that stuff, rosters, that'll all be sent to you via email. So be on the lookout for that starting next Monday, March 25th. Our coaches meeting is this Wednesday on the 20th. So coaches and I will get all of the practice schedule set up, and then once I get all that put together, I will be sending out to you all of the information you'll need starting next Monday. But I just wanted to get this video out to you beforehand, just so you have an idea of when to expect things, and let you know that we are working on it, and we're looking forward to have another great season of football. Let's see, the coach will reach out to you again on the practice schedule, and just to introduce themselves, how your child should be dressed for practice. We kind of went over that. Make sure they're just comfortable. They don't have to wear their game jerseys or shorts to practices. Just make sure that they're in comfortable athletic wear. And let's see. Again, please don't forget to look at our donation bin for cleats. And I know some coaches and teams have used a snack or treat schedule in the past. That's always a fun thing to do, and even if you're not a coach, this is a good way for you to get involved with the team. I'm going to touch on practices one more time. Players must wear a mouth guard, even in practice. Please buy a few. They're usually pretty cheap, so get a couple on deck. Mold them to your kid's mouth. It's really easy. Just boil some water, let them get soft, let the kids bite down on them and imprint. And then if you usually have a few ready to go, that's always great, just in case they lose one or something like that. Coaches do sign up for practices this week. Like I said, I will let you guys know next Monday when practices will be. And practices will start the week of April 1st. So if your practices are, Wednesdays and Thursdays, that means your first practice will be April 3rd and 4th. So just keep a lookout for that. And another thing is score sheets. We will be asking for parent volunteers during our games to be filling out score sheets. I'll have our coaches help out with that and kind of communicate that to our parents on game day. We just need some of you to record the very basic stats of touchdowns and interceptions and things like that. One last quick thing I'll touch on is the game and facility information. All of our flag football games will take place at Warren Field, which when I give you the game schedule, that will have a address on there, so you shouldn't have any issues finding it. It's pretty close here to City Hall. Game days will only be Saturdays, and they'll take place roughly from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will also host practices at Warren Field, and then we will have another practice field called Chase Field, which will be kind of off of West 21st, I believe, kind of just north on Spokane Street there. So practices will be held there. It's kind of way in the outfield of a couple baseball fields, but there will be painted football fields out there for you guys. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. This video was really intended to just answer some simple questions that you may have had before the season. Again, I will be sending rosters, schedules, picture day schedule, all that kind of stuff next week via email. So be on the lookout for that. That is starting March 25th. That's when you'll receive that information. If you have some questions that can't be answered in those emails next week or weren't answered in this video right here, please feel free to contact me at my email or my phone number below here. I appreciate the time that you took out to watch this video. I appreciate all the time that you will be putting in throughout the season to get your kiddos to practice and to games. We really appreciate the support, and I'm looking forward to another great season.